Hey guys, this video is to explain to you the project on the suitcase. This one here. This project is basically one of the final projects that we have for the Unit of Inquiry on Immigration. And in this project, what you're being asked to do is to write a short story where you are the suitcase. So you're not a person, you are a suitcase. Now, we discussed very briefly in class how the suitcase is actually a metaphor for immigration, since it's an item that everyone brings with them, whether they are immigrating to the country next to them or overseas, etc. So this is the journey of the suitcase. Now, first you need to understand what is being asked of you. The first thing that you need to do is fill in the brainstorm. Now, the brainstorm is composed of 7 items around the suitcase. You need to fill each one. So I am expecting you to fill each and every single one of these boxes. There's only 7, and each box will contain one idea on which you're going to expand on when you're going to be doing your piece of writing. Now, you will be having to complete, you're going to be taking a loose leaf of paper, and I'm expecting at least, minimum, 1 full page of writing, single-spaced, on the loose leaf of paper. If you end up writing more, that's fine, but I'm asking for a minimum of 1 full page. Now, what are some of the things that you might keep in mind when you're doing your suitcase writing? First, you might want to think about describing what you look like. So what kind of suitcase? If you're more thinking about immigration from the past, then you could be an older looking suitcase with made of leather with some certain kinds of straps or a piece of metal. If you're more of a modern suitcase, then maybe there's vinyl, plastic, etc. Now, who do you belong to? That is very important. Who is your owner? Who's the owner of you as a suitcase? You could be describing those individuals in your story. And then you might want to go through what your owner is putting inside of you as their belongings that are very dear to them, that are precious to them, that they're going to be bringing with them to the new country where they're going to be immigrating. And maybe you could talk about what these items also mean to them. Why are they so precious? Think about the provocation we did at the beginning of the unit, where we talked about, we looked at how the family was choosing very specific items to go in the suitcase. For example, a photograph of the family. Then you could talk about how you were transported onto either the boat, the train, or the plane, because you're obviously going to be carried with the owners to the new destination. So what was that like? Were you kind of thrown onto the boat or on the train? Did they delicately place you in the luggage compartment, or were you just tossed around? Then you're going to talk about your destination. So you've arrived to your new destination. What do you see as your new surroundings? Is it very different from where you started from your old home? Then your owners are unpacking you. And so what kind of expression do they have on their face? Are they happy to be in their new home? Are they sad? Are they upset? And finally, what does your new home feel like? Is it nice? Is it peaceful? Is it so different? Are you missing your old house? Even if you're a suitcase, you can still take in some emotion to be able to help your piece of writing. Think of it a little bit as the Toy Story, where the toys became animated, but they still had feelings. And so at the end of your piece of writing, you're going to be writing a draft first. And then when you're done writing your draft, you're going to be filling out one of these guys. So this is editing my writing. So you're going to go through each item on this list to improve your writing. So what is it asking you to do? It's asking you to highlight the capital letter at the beginning of each sentence and to make sure there's a period at the end. And you should make some changes if you realize that your sentence might be too long. You underline words that you're unsure of the spelling and make sure that you look them up in the dictionary or perhaps in an online dictionary on your Chromebook. You reread your work to yourself or to a partner. Sometimes rereading it out loud to a partner is very useful because you realize that you might have missed a word or they might have a suggestion for you on how to improve it. You're going to circle the verbs and look to see if an adverb should be added in order to make it more interesting. If you're saying that you're being carried to the boat, maybe you're carried forcefully onto the boat, or maybe carried softly onto the boat. So adverbs are a very good way of improving your writing. You're going to make a box around the nouns and look to see if an adjective should be added to your piece of writing. And then finally, you make sure your handwriting is legible. You know that I'm not picky about cursive writing, but I would like for you to show that you care about this project by having at least a nice handwriting. And once you've done all of those, and then you've checked them off the list, then you're ready to do your final version of the writing. So you're going to do a draft, you're going to fill in the tickets, and then you're going to do your final version. And only once you've done all of that can you hand it in all together, stapled, and I'm going to look forward to reading your incredible stories. And that concludes the video on my suitcase. Cheers, guys.